So, in a couple videos back, when I was doing the binding on the Ovation Deacon fretboard, I had someone ask me about my binding jig that I used. So, let me take you down to the bench here and give you a quick run through of how I built it and how it works. I just kind of came up with this thing off the top of my head one day when I was gluing on binding, and I needed something to hold the fretboard tightly and have like a shoulder on it, so you could push on it and it would hold the binding nice and square to the side of the fretboard. And this thing kind of morphed. It started out as just a shelf on one side to hold it, so you could glue one side and hold it, and then flip the fretboard around, glue the other side and hold it. And then I added a clamping mechanism to the bottom as well as the top, so it would clamp both sides at the same time, which allows you to just free fit everything together and then drop some either super glue or acetone down in it. So let me take you down here and give you a quick walk around of how this thing was built and how it works. So to start out with, I got a piece of polycarbonate here. I got a bunch of it from an old job. They were throwing a machine out and it had like 10 or 12 3-foot by 4.5 foot doors made out of this thing, this stuff, and I just grabbed it all because they were throwing it away and threw it in the truck, and it's perfect for making templates, you know, anything. It's just a great medium to have around. So started out with a fairly sizable piece, and then I took a piece like this and glued it on right here. This way, for when I was gluing my binding, I could sit it on here and push it up against it, and it would put even pressure all the way across, and it would glue nicely. You know, when you were done, you flip the board around, glue the other side, stick it up against, and you were good to go. And then I came up with the idea of actually making it two pieces, but I wanted to make it semi-adjustable, so if I had a wider neck or a shorter neck, because the angle is going to be different on a shorter neck, the side angle, the difference between the heel end and the headstock end could differ, which means your angle is going to be different. So I drew a line from one end to the other here, and at about a 1 degree angle, I drilled and tapped out holes for 3 screws. And then I took another piece and put slots in it that match up with it. So you can put this piece on and it can slide forward and back, you know, like that. You can lock it in here, and it gives you space if you have like a base neck, so it's longer, it goes further up the jig. And then just a couple of flat washers and 3 nuts. So you can lock this thing in wherever you want it. You could also lock it in a permanent position, right? Let's get this thing up in here. And then just leave it like this, and if you want to put your binding on, just push your neck up until it clamps in. But you got to make sure that your angle is correct for the side of the fretboard. There we go. So you can adjust this right here. I don't know if you can see me moving that. For basically any angle that you have going down your fretboard. Like I said, if you have a shorter neck, the angle is going to be steeper. If you have a longer neck, the angle is going to be shallower. So let me take you down here, give you a quick close-up view of everything. So there's our base right here, and here's the piece that's glued across the top. You can see fretboard fits flat up against it. And here's the bottom section. Now there are slots cut in these 3 holes, which allows them to have a little give. So when you press it up against the fretboard, you get your angle perfect every time. Alright, so there's a quick rundown of the fretboard binding jig that I made. Dana at Jonah Guitars asked me if I'd do a quick rundown. He was interested in this jig. So, hey, if you make one, make a video, post it up so I can see your version of it. I think if I had to rethink this and rebuild it again, I'd probably line the bottom of it and the edges of the clamping system probably with some 20 thousandths Teflon. This way, no matter how much glue or acetone you dump on this thing, it would never stick to them. But as it is right now, if you go a little overboard, it will get stuck there and you'll have to kind of finesse it off the jig. Anyway, that's it. Quick and simple, down and dirty fretboard binding jig. You guys take care of yourself. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.